month, I had a fall off my bike and I injured my right shoulder. And since then, it has recovered, but since then, I've been noticing how much my body compensates to be able to give my shoulder a bit of rest and aid in recovery. I found that I was compensating quite a bit through the thoracic, which is the mid-back, and through my neck for what my shoulder couldn't do. There was also things like getting dressed, brushing my teeth, washing my hair even, that became quite difficult. So here are my tips for a normal daily activity like getting dressed with an injured shoulder. Now, I injured my right shoulder, so I'm going to use that as an example for today. The first thing you need to know is that your wardrobe is going to minimize. You're going to live in clothing that are loose and easy to put on. Hey, that's okay. It's only for a little while your shoulder heals and recovers. So I'm going to show you some tips. Here we go. Okay, so tip number one is avoid any kind of tight clothing and try and get yourself clothing that you can button up in the front. So anything that is loose, where you're not having to reach up and over in through the shirt, is always a good idea. Now, I know I lived in a very loose shirt like this, and the way to get your shoulder into the shirt is you start with your bad arm first. So lean over so you're not reaching up or to the side, just lean over, let your shoulder hang, and use the bad arm or the bad shoulder to get your sleeve on, and then you can come up, put your head through, and then do the other side. Now, this should be quite simple, but when you have a sore shoulder, even small movements can hurt, so see how you go. Taking it off is reverse of what you did to put it on. So get the good arm out, over the head, and then the bad arm out. Tip number two is the bottoms. Again, loose clothing, avoid jeans if you can. They just are too hard and too tight to pull up with the shoulder. Sit down for any of these kind of bottoms, and again, try not to use the arm to pull up, which is why having loose clothing is very important. One leg in, use the good arm as much as you can to get the other leg in, and then pull up. It's not going to look graceful, it is going to look weird, but hey, at least you're not using the shoulder and it's not twinging away, and you're helping it just recover quicker. Tip number three is I found that as my shoulder was recovering, I could use it more and more. The one thing that would really set it off is the sudden movements of reaching out for something, or even opening the car door, where I would have to push the car door out with my shoulder, was quite difficult. So here's a tip that I have found to be very helpful for getting out of the car, is to open the door, but then use your knees to push the car door open so you can actually get out, and that way you're not using your shoulder at all. So my shoulder has recovered, and I'm very grateful for all the people that have helped me throughout my recovery.